Hi everyone, welcome back to a podcast presented by SportsKhabri. We're talking Indian football yet again, and we're talking ahead of the Mumbai City BFC clash. The second leg is up for grabs at the Kandirwa. The first leg ended 1-0 in favor of BFC. There's a lot to talk about. There are a lot of narratives going into this game. Mumbai City, of course, the favourites to still take this time, many say. But it was a very important goal that BFC got from Mumbai, and with home support, Rishi, you probably see BFC holding on to this lead and going to the final of the ISL?
Um, I don't, I don't expect because in my opinion, still Mumbai City are the clear favorites, but their recent form has been a bit turbulent, and we are basking in confidence at the point, and that can actually play in our favor. So, going by the recent form, and the home crowd, of course, I feel that we can go. But again, if we don't, there's nothing disappointing. I mean, at this point, I'm taking everything. Like I'm like I halfway through the season, I didn't expect this to happen. So halfway through the season, if you had told me that we'd be here playing semi-finals against Mumbai City, going into the second tie with a goal lead, I'd take it. I'd take it any day. So
No, I think this run has been amazing. We've now 10 in 10, 6 consecutive wins at home. Momentum is definitely with BSC. Adarsh, do you have any particular takeaways from that first leg?
So not particularly from the first leg. I think this has been happening since we lost against PFC. The first time that we lost and the unbeaten streak came to an end. So since then, I've been trying to look into things as to what didn't work out, but haven't been able to figure out as such, because everything that worked out for us in the first 18 games is something that we've been doing anyway for the past 3 games as well. It's just that sometimes luck isn't in your favor, or sometimes things just don't go your way. The sad part about it is to lose 2 games against BFC. That's what kind of irks me more. But given the form that we have had throughout this season and the consistency and the flow, in this I will talk about the defensive form that we also have had, and also the attacking prowess. Like, we have been a goal scoring machine, to say so. So I think that is something that instills the confidence in me again as we look forward to the second leg. The first leg was a narrow 1-0 loss, even though it hurts more, to be honest, because you always want to win in your home ground. That's what every home fan wants to see. But even though that didn't work out, given the form that we have had throughout the season, I am confident that the boys can turn it around in Kandirwa. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Ashish, are you confident as well moving into this game?
Yeah, I think with the first leg, we played well, but it was just that we did not finish. And the final third, we were missing something. We created chances, but there was just no goal. And I think that's been the case even for the past 3 games where we've lost after having a dream run throughout the season. So definitely I believe in Des and the squad as well. They'll surely come up with a master plan and score a few bangers in Bangalore.
Before we move on to talking about what exactly happened in that first leg, what we can expect in the second leg, in so many ways, these two clubs have gone completely different directions since the last 2, 3, 4 years. Mumbai City, of course, have become a mainstay in Indian football. They're probably one of the biggest clubs and probably the prettiest to watch, right? Adarsh, I'll come to you. How have things changed as a fan for you from when the club began to now?
It has been an interesting journey, and I smile so much when I say it, because I remember all the tough times that we have had. The first 2 seasons was in DY Patil Stadium, which is like hardly 10 minutes drive from my place. And now at Mumbai Football Arena, which I have to travel for like 1.5 hours to reach it one way. So, the support has been constant from me and from many other fans who have been there since day one, DY Patil. There have been tough moments as well. We have spent nights crying, that nothing is working out. You have the most fanciest of signings, and when you talk Mumbai, and of course you can say Bengaluru, Delhi, all of these main cities of India, you also want to see success associated with it, and that wasn't really happening for us for a long time in ISL. eventually the first season in the pandemic, we ended up winning both the accolades, the shield and the cup. So that kind of instilled a lot of confidence in us, that now we are actually getting what we deserve as fans. Because let me tell you one thing, you might have all kinds of fan bases in the country. Some are known for winning awards here and there. Some are known for making the most noise. But something that I can say with a lot of confidence is, even if you have just 20 of us in the stands, we sound like we are 200. And that has been the case since day one. We have backed the team as much as possible. Now the team also is in a position where they are kind of giving it back to us in terms of the results. So that's something amazing to watch. First, we had Sergio Lobera getting us all the wins. Now we have Des Buckingham, and really looking forward to the exciting times as a fan now.
Rishi, on the other hand, coming to BFC, we've seen those amazing AFC Cup nights. We've seen some crazy I-League games, and then that amazing success for so long, and then suddenly it all came crashing down. You had so much success under Ashley Westwood, then Albert Roca, to an extent Karis Quadrat, but things started to change when Karis came in, and after that we had Marco. We didn't have too much success under him. We moved to Simon. Now, obviously the style of football has changed quite a bit since Simon has taken over. How are you taken to the style of football now?
In terms of style, Rahul, we have to say we're quite spoiled, to be honest. We've had beautiful football playing managers. Like even during Ashley Westwood's style, it was typical English knockdown football. And from there, we always had a plan. We always had a blueprint of what we're going to do. And it was never a case where, until Marco came in, that we started to look a bit lost. So till then, we always had that confidence. And in some ways, we can say that we took it for granted a bit, that we never really saw this coming. We never really, never really anticipated that this is a strong possibility that we could face. So when that hit, it hit us hard. And yeah, the first half of this season was, I don't know what we were trying to do. And we went from a back four to a back three, and there were no consistency in the lineups. We had low morale. We had some heavy thrashings. And coming from there, all it took was a formation change and a tactic, a style of football which Simon Grayson himself trusted in. The moment that clicked, things started to fall in place. And
Yeah, I know. I was just asking, did you playing at the back five defensively and just playing on the counter is not fun to watch, but have you gotten used to it?
I'll take it. I'll definitely take it.
Adarsh, again, let's just talk about quickly the first leg. It was pretty much obvious that BFC would sit back, Mumbai would have much of the ball, and that's what happened for most parts of that game. The first half especially, Mumbai dominated the ball. But to BFC's credit, there wasn't too much at Gurpreet's goal. There were shots above the bar. Changte had a few chances, Bipin Singh had a few shots, but nothing really that tested the keeper. Do you think it was down to the resolve of this BFC side, or was there something lacking in the final third for Mumbai, like Ashish pointed out?
Definitely there was something lacking in the final third, but I have to give credit to especially Sandesh Jingan, because he clearly had one of his best games in his Indian football career, if I can say so. Because the defense was pretty solid, and even though we have the best attacking lineup in the ISL this season, and it has also shown in terms of the numbers, somehow we couldn't just penetrate. We couldn't just convert those chances. I remember even JPD had a shot, had a chance at shooting, but that kind of went wayward, and it didn't work out for us. So it was a mix of both the lack of that conversion which happens in the final third, and also a resilient defensive performance by the opponent. So I think that's what went down in the first leg.
That's fair. Ashish, now coming away with a nil-all draw would have been way more different than losing that game, right? How much does it hurt to go a goal down coming into this Bangalore tie, and particularly Sunil Chhetri scoring is probably blew the roof off the place.
I don't think it changes a lot.
Okay.
We will, I think what the squad will do is go to Bangalore with the same mindset. We have to win the game anyways. Even if it was a 0-0 draw, we would have gone with a winning mindset. And of course, scoring goals is not an issue for us. This season we scored, I think, more than 50 goals, which is a lot. I think the second best is 35 or 40. I'm not sure. But yeah, scoring goals is not an issue for this team. And yeah, we just need to get in there past that Bangalore defense, which has been very, as Adarsh mentioned, it's been resilient. And yes, once we do that, we need support from the fullbacks, from the midfielders. Jago can do really well. Um, Vignesh had a few shots in the first leg as well off target, but yeah, surely if we can convert one or two chances early on in the game, yeah, that will set us up for the rest of the game.
Rishi, Adarsh mentioned Sandesh Jingan. I think you and I were talking about him during the Kerala Blasters game. He had a crazy game. It's been a mad turnaround for him. He's been the only guy who's held his spot in the back three. Aaron Costa has been missing, obviously, for personal reasons. And Parag has also been moved out. Simon Grayson's preferring a back three of Bruno, Sandesh, and Jovanovic. How much has it changed, this back three, ever since Jingan's form is just kicked on, especially since that Blasters game at home?
Even before the Blasters game, I think the Chennai game, there were a few moments where it looked shaky, but other than that, he had a really good game. And since then, he hasn't looked back. Like, it's his confidence is off the charts. And yeah, that's kind of, coincided with us being resilient at the back. It's no nonsense. We don't take any risks. It's route one. But yeah, it's, sometimes the basics, we just need to do the basics properly for the things to get going. And he's done that effortlessly. He's done that relentlessly. So yeah.
No, how much has the Chhetri goal also changed things for us going into this game?
For us, it changes the whole landscape in terms of morale, in terms of confidence. Coming back with a 0-0 draw, I don't think we would have had the same mentality now. And again, amongst the fans as well, most importantly with the fans. The players by now, I think it's pretty evident that the players trust the manager. We have that right mindset to be patient, nick a goal, or sometimes if we can go on the front foot as well. So the players, they're pretty relentless when it comes to that. But when it comes to us fans, the confidence that the away goal, albeit that away goals doesn't exist anymore in the ISL, the away goal that gives us completely changes the landscape for us.
Yeah, I mean, because I was happy to take a 0-0 draw and come back. I was like, even if we lose, just cover away the 1-0 loss.
1-0, yeah.
Deal with it at home. Yeah, but to get a goal there, I think is huge for us. Adarsh, was there any player that you were looking at and were like, okay, he's not on it today. He's probably the guy. It was somebody like a Greg Stewart or Pereira Diaz who you probably thought could find us that special moment in the game and unlock the game for you guys.
Of course, there's a lot of expectation from JPT and Greg Stewart. I'm a big fan of Changte, so there's always this expectation that since he's been so fluid in everything that he has done this season, in such a big game, you expect him to score or assist and just put in a top performance. So not that I am being harsh on Changte, but as a fan and as an admirer, that's one player I really look forward to. This player should do really well in such a crucial game. So I think the attack overall didn't really perform well, but I would love to see Changte score a goal at Kandiva if that helps things get better.
And let's just quickly address the goal as well. It's something I've seen from Sunil Chhetri many a time. Being that one guy, he acts like he's not doing anything with the corner. He's just chilling by himself. And the ball comes in, your centre backs are looking at the big guys in Bruno, in Sandesh, in who else was playing? Jovanovic. So he's often that guy who was left alone, and he comes in quick and he scores these headers. He did it, I think, in the previous game as well. If I'm not wrong, not the Kerala game, but the Goa game. Is that something that you guys probably missed out on?
We all know, Sunil Chhetri is legend of the game in terms of Indian football and the kind of talent that he possesses, just making those very quick runs, being so stealth in his attack, whatever he does. I think that was a lapse. Our defenders could have done way better, considering, that he comes with that kind of a skill set. So, of course, in the second leg, that's something we will have to tackle and counter. As fans, we do our best to, get under the skin of as many rival players as possible. And I think we did our best, what we could do at the MFA. But yeah, I think in terms of tackling that at Kantirwa, that would be very crucial if we have to make something good out of this game.
Right. Ashish, he's just so notorious with corners, isn't he? Chhetri just comes and scores these important headers in important games. Again, for you, was there something lacking while defending that corner?
Yeah, surely. If you go back and see the goal, there were like 4 or 5 players, Mumbai players, standing around Chhetri, and no one really got to him. He was in the right place in the right time. He got the header, a good header, a good goal. All credits to Chhetri for that. But we can defend set pieces in a better manner, I feel. And yes, set pieces one thing where we can surely do better, our defense.
Rishi, it was probably like one of the most solid performances I've seen from a BSC defensive unit. Suresh was exceptional in that game. I have to mention him. Were there any standout performance for you?
Yeah, Suresh, he is our engine, man. He has 3 lungs on him. The distance he covers, the sprints he makes, my God. And Sandesh Jingan, Gurpreet, although Gurpreet didn't have much to do. And I think even the forwards right now, we can see a real cohesion. Like before, you could see when one of them drops, the other, it would take like an extra couple of seconds for the other to make the run in behind. But now you see the moment either Roy or either Shiv Shakti gets the ball, the other person is on the shoulder of the last defender. He is making that run, and they don't even have to look. Yeah. So if we had to name a couple of them, I think it would be Suresh and Jingan.
Adarsh, for you guys, any particular player who stood out for you and who's probably a threat in the coming game?
In spite of conceding that one goal, I think Purba Lachempa was outstanding, and he has been outstanding ever since that semi-final appearance against FC Goa, that penalty shootout. Nobody would have imagined that such a cameo performance will end up, making him the number one keeper in our team. So, he has continued to impress us all the time. I remember when, we lost Amrinder and, then we had Nawaz, and there was this apprehension in the minds of every Mumbai City fan that I spoke with, what's the future of goalkeeping in Mumbai City FC? And then you see a guy like Purba and you're like, you just have this weird feeling about him that, I have never seen him play because I never followed him in his previous clubs. But then to see the kind of turnaround he has had in terms of goalkeeping standards, that has been phenomenal. So even in the away leg, I hope he can keep all the BFC attackers away, and hopefully our attackers can get us that one win that we need.
No, actually, touching on Lachempa, he could have easily been 2 or 3 if not for him, right? Like towards the end of the game, I think Chhetri had a couple of good shots at goal, and I think he also made an amazing save from Prabir Das. I don't know if it was a shot or a cross.
Prabir Das cross, yeah.
A cross or shot, I'm not sure. What do you think? It was a cross or shot?
It was a cross. Yeah, he was a shot response.
I think you can ask Prabir.
Top one machine. But a great save from Lachempa.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, actually, I was talking about Lachempa itself. Just how important was it to have him there? And he kept out a couple of really decent attempts from the BFC forwards.
Yeah, so just in the first leg, he's had great saves. The shot from Prabir that you talked about. Even so Chhetri put in a chip to Javi, and that was a great shot as well. He saved it again. So yeah, great performance from Lachenpa in the first leg and even throughout the season as well. We've also, I think we've conceded the least number of goals, if I'm not wrong. So all credits to Lachenpa for that. But if you ask me, the standout players for me, there's a lot of them actually. But Jahu has been great throughout the season with his vision, and he finds tight spaces that no one else can find, and he executes those passes pretty well. And there's Bipin who can connect those passes. There's Pereira Diaz, so he has a lot of support as well. So Jahu is the um, standout player for me this season.
Ashish, again, like you mentioned Jahu, and he did come off, I think, probably after the 60th minute mark, was it? In this game, because he was on a yellow, of course. How do you think that changed the narrative for Mumbai towards the back end of that game?
Yeah, I think the yellow cards, Jahu and Apuya, both of them were on yellows, so Des had to make a change. Even Bipin had to come off after a while, so that did change the narrative. And with, of course, with Chhetri coming on, we had a bit of a lapse in the defense, and things went downwards for us.
But Chhetri was actually, I think this was Chetri's performance of the season so far. That whatever 30, 40 minutes he played, he was amazing. He had a couple of good shots. He linked up, play very nicely with most of the... I think Harvey really came to life after that, although he got taken off. What do you think Simon will do going into this game? Do you see Chhetri starting this game, especially because it's at home, the fans are up for it, they're right behind Sunil after that amazing goal?
I honestly don't think we should get carried away by the fans' emotions. I mean, of course, off the bench he was stellar. He proved to be decisive for us. But I still think that for the majority of the game, we need the legs of Roy Krishna and Shiv Shakti. We need to keep the defense. We can't let Mumbai defense settle down and let Jahu and Craig Stewart on the ball. We need to close them down. And for that, we need the legs of Shiv Shakti and Roy Krishna.
But we've seen in the past, he's a big game player. Provided us many a memory at the Katirwa. Do you feel like something is brewing for Chhetri? Do you think it's
Definitely.
a special moment is there in this game?
Whenever he's on the pitch, there's always something that could go for us. That's the inevitability that Chhetri. I think I don't think I've seen many players who has that air of inevitability about them. Like you just know that something is gonna happen. Like he is up to something, and Chhetri is definitely one of those players. But yeah, like I said, and of course he's definitely gonna play a part in the game. But I don't think we should gamble our first 60 to 70 minutes for that.
Right. Adarsh, and coming to you about Chhetri, he's been potent in the last few games. He scored against the Blasters. He scored against Mumbai City. He's been scoring a few off late. And do you see a spot for him in the starting 11 for BFC at all? Or are you actually worried if he starts this game?
As a neutral or as an Indian football fan, I would say that I'll go with Rishi's approach because, with all the experience and all the legacy that he comes with, it's important for him to deliver in the minutes that matter. Like, he doesn't have to be sweating out there, playing all the 90 minutes. So, not that I'll take it for granted if he starts for BFC, that, it'll work in our favor. But if it has to work out for BFC, I would rather have him as a super sub and not someone who is playing right since the start.
Ashish, what about you? Do you see any chance of Chhetri getting into them? This is a conversation we've been having for a while now, actually, with different people, and everybody is still on the edge. Everyone's like, you know what, it's the same for the 20-30 minutes. Let him play those 20-30 minutes. But he's been playing really well for the last few weeks. Do you see him starting?
I don't think he'll start the game, but yeah, that's what I would want, at least as a Mumbai City fan. But yeah, he's been absolutely amazing for whatever time he's played in the past few games, and I hope he doesn't do that again against us. But yeah, for sure, as a BFC supporter, you would want him to start the full, play the full game, and even if he doesn't make the impact in the last 30 minutes, right?
Yeah. Again, Ashish, just follow up. Do you see any changes for the Mumbai City side by any chance, or it's the same? Go with the same team. You're doing well. It's worked so far.
I think it's worked for us so far, and the past couple of games doesn't change anything. We've not been thrashed, or we've only conceded a couple of goals in each game, 1 or 2 goals in each game. So I don't think we should change anything. We should go with the same mindset, same approach, and just do our best on the pitch.
Adarsh, is there a shout for Naguera in the lineup by any chance?
I think we can give him a chance, and especially in the last 3 games, we have witnessed how the rotation has worked. Even though we might not have got the wins in those games, but the bench strength has been tested really well for Mumbai City. So I don't mind Oguera in the lineup, but it's just a thing that you have to see if it works well for you or not. Overall, I have been very satisfied with how Des has put the boys in terms of the lineup and the strategy and everything. So I wouldn't want to gamble with it, but Noguera is not a bad player. He should be there in the lineup.
But if you are to start Naguera, who do you drop onto the bench is obviously the question, right?
I would ask for another foreigner in the lineup. That's how it is, because all of these are quality players. You can't just sacrifice, and that's one reason why he has not been in the lineup recently, Noguera, because you have to cater to that limit. So yeah, if I have to have it, I just stick with what we are going so far. Yeah, with the lineup.
Interesting thing that Adarsh mentioned, the past 3 or 4 games, Des has really tested the bench, and I think we now have an idea of who can do well in what situation, and that's going to work. That's going to work wonders for us when we do need that substitution in the second half, maybe.
Right.
I'll just add to that, Rahul. Basically, with all the youngsters that we have had in the past 2 or 3 seasons, we did have people coming from the under 17 groups, under 15 groups, but they were never really incorporated in the lineup, or there was no scope of young blood really being tested in the main squad. But like you saw, even against East Bengal, against Bengaluru FC, players like Ayush have been given more minutes to play, and whenever you see and Ayush playing, you see that flair in them, that they might just go off and score a goal. So I think that has also worked well in our favor. And come the semi-final second leg, and hopefully if we make it to the finals, we are not short of options in terms of trying different combinations and really going for it.
Yeah. Rishi, in terms of options and combinations, there are a couple on the BFC bench also. Alan Costa has been missing for the last few games. Parag also is somebody we mentioned. And they've been an important part of this winning run. Do you see any of them coming back into the side?
If anything, maybe Alan Costa for Jovanovic. And other than that, I don't see any other rotation, not at this point at least.
Yeah.
I don't have that. Now that we're in a good position, we can't afford to, have that kind of a lapse.
But even players like Pablo Perez who've been good in glimpses, and of course Udanta is a fan favorite. Is there any possibility of an incredible impact from these kind of guys?
Udanta and Pablo definitely, because we've already seen the two of them come off the bench and put on real shifts when we needed those legs. And Pablo has that creativity also, that even if Javi is taken out of the team, he provides that creativity. He provides that link between that midfield, the depth, the deep midfielder and the forward line. So yeah, Pablo can do that well. And Udanta, yes, he is leaving at the end of the season, and I hope he can run it back one last time for the good old days.
Yeah, I really hope so too. But now let's just quickly talk about the atmosphere. It's going to be packed, of course. I've heard somebody say that Kerala Blasters fans have bought tickets as well for the BSC game. I mean, then of course supporting Mumbai. But what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like come Sunday evening?
I mean, too bad they can't watch their team in the semi-finals. But what can we do? The atmosphere, Rahul, the West Block was sold out in 24 hours.
Yeah,
West Block was sold out in 24 hours, and they've had to open stands like which have rarely been opened before. And
yeah.
it is going to be electric. It is going to be packed. It's going to be electric. The whole place is going to be bouncing for the team, and I hope
Yeah.
we can translate that into a solid performance.
Adarsh, do you think Mumbai would be at all phased by the kind of atmosphere that will be generated at the Purba?
Of course, if you have a stadium full of energetic fans, it kind of plays in your favor, but that's not always the case. We have had scenarios, not just with Mumbai City, but other clubs as well, that, uh, let's say the example of Kerala. We have gone to Kerala and beaten, them with a very big score line. So, fan support is crucial, and that's the reason why a lot of West Coast Brigade people are also traveling to the game tomorrow. So, we might not be as much in numbers as you guys on Sunday, but pretty sure we'll put up a good show as well in terms of fan support. And hopefully that works in our favor and we come off with a good result. So that's what I believe.
Ashish, what about you? Do you think this whole 12th man factor is overrated at times, or is it something that is very important going into some big games?
I don't think it's overrated at all. Fan support is one of the crucial factors, and it can be the deciding factor for a lot of games. But yeah, as West Coast Brigade, we're always loud and proud. Doesn't matter if we're at home or away. And I think there are 15-20 people traveling from Mumbai for the game, and even though there won't be a matching number for the BFC and MCFC fans, but I'm sure the support will be loud, and we'll back our players as much as we can.
Yeah, it is going to be an intriguing game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just before we wrap up, I just want to talk to you guys about something that happened during the BFC Kerala Blasters knockout fixture. Of course, it took everyone by surprise, I guess. It made the news. Rishi, I'll come to you first because you're the BFC fan. On the other side of it, what is your opinion? How did you take it? Firstly, the free kick and then walking off the pitch, obviously.
So we didn't break any rules. It's as simple as that. The rule says that the players don't have to wait for the referee's whistle to take a quick free kick. The referee, obviously, he has the authority to bring the ball back, and if that's the case, he can then ask for a normal free kick. But then we can always take the quick free kick. We don't have to wait for the whistle. So as far as that is concerned, we didn't break any rules. Obviously, in such a tense moment, it was really cheeky, and I mean, it's fair to say that the Kerala Blasters fans felt, injustice was served to them. But again, none of the rules were broken, and when the emotions are running that high, obviously people can be disappointed. But yeah, as far as the goal is concerned, that is what I think. And in terms of walking off, that is really unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
And I was watching the game. I saw the players. The players were walking back to restart the game, and it was their manager who called them back and the manager who took charge. And that is really disappointing to see from a coach's perspective.
Yeah. Adarsh, have you seen anything like it ever since you started watching Indian football?
No, not. Of course, this hasn't happened before. But in terms of the free kick, there have been numerous examples in European football, in world football, where it has happened. I remember there was also a David Luiz free kick that went off similarly. I don't remember which game exactly, but we have seen those examples. My opinion and perspective in this is okay. I am not the best with technicalities or rules, or was it fair, was it not. My only perspective on this is that it's a knockout game. You don't get second chances in a knockout game. Like, if you are going a goal down in a league stage game, you can come back in the next game and smack five past the opponent's goal and try and make up for it. But in a knockout game, you have to have that kind of composure that, even if it's not a legal or let's say it was not a legal decision that was taken, it was wrong. You still have like 15-20 minutes to turn up and really put the pressure on BFC and bring about a difference. because you don't get that second chance. So I think that's where they could have done better, where they could have just stayed that, okay, there might have been 2 or 3 minutes of frustration, upset, despair, that this has happened, but then you go again and you try to get the better of the game. So I think that's the opinion that I have on that incident.
Ashish, what about you? What is your take on the entire situation?
Keeping controversy aside, I think it was a great free kick from Chhetri. Of course, it's a topic to discuss whether it was fair or if it was legal. But whatever the case, I don't think walking off does right. It's not justified. It doesn't do well for the club, for the league. It was a knockout game. Of course, they had 20-25 minutes on the clock. They could have gotten back into the game. The players were ready for that, and the manager called the players off. I don't think that that's justified, but yeah, I think the manager made a decision and he stuck with it.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, I think harsh punishments should follow this incident, because we need to make a precedent of this situation, ensure that it doesn't happen again in Indian football. But keeping all of this aside, quickly, guys, Ashish, score predictions for this game and your player to watch out from a BFC perspective.
Either it's a 1-0 for us or a 1-1.
A 1-1.
And yeah, with yeah, so we're going through, and our player to watch obviously will be Suresh or I actually think Roshan will. His performances have been going under the radar for a while, but they've been crucial for us. I think this is one of those moments where he can really get the limelight he deserves.
Fair enough. Adarsh, your score predictions for this game?
I've stopped doing score predictions for a long time now, but I can guarantee you this one thing, looking at the form that we have had throughout the season, that I'll board that return flight back home with a sense of pride in my heart that, the boys have done their best, and we'll return home back with a smile irrespective of the result. So that's what I feel.
Any player that you BFC should watch out for from a Mumbai perspective?
Changte for sure, a big fan of Changte, and he can do the damage. And of course, the combination of Greg Stewart and JPD as well. So these three players you have to look forward to.
Ashish, for you?
Again, even I won't do a score prediction, but I'm pretty confident, and fingers crossed we'll go through to the finals. The player to watch out for will be again Jahu, but also Bipin, Greg, Pereira. It's just the entire squad doing so well. It's hard to pick a few.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about, sorry to interrupt you, but that's the crazy thing about this current Mumbai squad. Like, whenever I'm asked this question, that who's your favorite player or this and that, and I'm left wondering that, if I take this name, I'm kind of offending the other person, because everybody has been so fantastic. It's all about personal favorites then, that who do you incline towards to more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this Mumbai side has been flying. They've done extremely well. Hopefully, we can keep them quiet and march on to the finals.
And what do you think the scoreline will be?
Good. I think I back BSC at home. Like, I always back BSC at home. I think we won 6 in our last 6 home games, and that's a club record, I read. And I think you and I know, we go to most of the home games together. Over the years, any home game that we've gone to, especially the big ones, we've always backed BSC and we've always come back home happy. So hopefully it's a good dinner day and we can get the victory and be happy. Probably go to Goa, have a nice trip, and have some fun there. But yeah, it'll be an interesting clash. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll see you there, Adarsh, at the Kandirwa tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for joining in, guys. This has been fun as well. We'll hopefully do this.
To meeting you, Adarsh.
Yep. See you tomorrow. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. This was great.